we should do.
We hope we could just bring them hopes and tell them that everything's going to be okay.
It makes you feel purposeful. I can still help. I can still be part of something greater than myself.
Welcome to Giving Back in 2024, a New Yorker of the Week special. I'm Pat Kiernan. New Yorkers have a bit of a reputation. We're fast walkers, we're fast talkers, we're quick to quip back. But if there's one thing every New Yorker knows, it is how to step up for others. We see it all the time, people handing out food, helping out in their community gardens, sharing their culture, and so much more. At New York One, we spotlight some of their stories. They become our New Yorkers of the Week, people who help their neighborhoods in one way or another and really expect nothing in return. Over the next 30 minutes, we're taking another look at the work they're doing to make our city a special place.
Sounds right, guys?
I want to be able to provide however I can, give my services to those who have the talent, have the drive.
I wanted to create a space where people found a home.
You like blue?
This could be any one of our kids, and we have to stand with them.
Yeah, that's right.
It's honestly like an umpire in baseball. You don't even want to know they're there. You kind of want to make sure that they're on the path that they need to be, and I can just be there to assist.
Lady! Smile!
When I became a teacher, I wanted to share it with people who would otherwise never have an opportunity to learn this.
Let me introduce you to patience and fortitude.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
The community shows up for us. The community gives us their things. It's important that it gets back into the hands of those who need it as quickly as possible.
Hundreds of neighbors have stepped up, provided money, provided clothes, provided their time, their skills to get together and try to help as many people as we can. Chicken?
Ready?
Even though I had open heart surgery, my heart's beating strongly.
Hola, buen dia.
Seeing the interaction of people.
Okay, baby, I'll see you later.
When you see the impact that you've made on a block, you end up feeling really positive about what you've done.
Do you get fruit?
With so much going on in the world and so many people heads down on their phones and social media, I think getting back to basics and being part of a community and being in service to other people is something that everybody needs.
It is amazing service. New York is a giving city. NYC Service made more than 30,000 connections to volunteer projects this year. This is the platform run by the city. New York Cares does similar work. It's a nonprofit organization. They say their volunteers perform more than 200,000 hours of community service. And we know some of that work. Some of it involves our New Yorkers of the Week. It has an impact. The people that our New Yorkers help tell us all the time how much that service meant to them. Here's what some of them had to say.
I think every group to succeed, it needs kind of a core bedrock. Actually is that kind of bedrock for the group.
These decorative flowers.
If this garden wasn't here, I probably would not have met Rosie, and there's a couple other friends that my son has made throughout the time that we've lived out here.
So that's pretty exciting.
Being with Ricardo, I've gotten the chance to go to sidewalks with him, and we both got to give a speech there. And I feel like it was a very big moment for me because I had never done something so big in my life.
Norm is part of a special group of volunteers within our site that bring living history trades to life. There is no one else like him.
To be able to find a group that has that team feel, the same way you would feel like in a sport, I found that very inspiring.
It allows me and my son a safe place to come over, teach him a little bit about growing, about caring for something, nurturing.
After high school,
wow.
I feel like he helped me be more open and talk to others.
You have to have an abiding interest, patience with yourself to learn, and also a generosity to give your time.
Coming up, we'll talk with a psychologist about how giving back benefits everyone involved. Stay with us for that.
Jamie Stelter here. I love New Yorker of the Week each week. Y'all are the ones that keep the trains running on time in your own community. Thank you for the work you do.
Alyssa Policelli here. Just want to give a big shout out to all of our New Yorkers of the Week. You are what make this city so very special and the prime example of why New Yorkers are simply the best.
Some familiar faces there. Welcome back to Giving Back in 2024. It doesn't take a lot to help others. Mentoring young people, holding a door open for somebody, really they both require the same thing, a desire to do some good. We sat down with a psychologist to talk about what happens and how it feels when we step up for others. We're here with Kiba Rogers, whom we met with when we were doing one of our New Yorker of the Week segments earlier this year. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's talk about what it means to give back. You see that has a reward for the people who are the volunteers just as much as it does for the people who they are volunteering to help.
Absolutely, and it has so many benefits. Let's start with the basic one that everyone knows. It feels great to give back. We feel a sense of joy, a sense of purpose. But some of the things we don't pay attention to are we're building community, right? So we are working with diverse people when we're volunteering. We're working with people who have our interests, same interests in mind.
Often people in your neighborhood.
Often people in our own neighborhood. We have a sense of purpose. So there are so many things that really benefit us, and sometimes we don't know why we feel so great after we do a day of volunteering or we give money to a cause. We don't realize why it is, but it's because we really do build that sense of purpose and self-efficacy. We start to feel like, wow, one person can make a difference.
And you will encourage people to get out and find something that they connect with, not just any random volunteering activity, but figure out something that really has a meaning to you.
Absolutely, because that's where you get the benefit, right? When you do something that doesn't really matter to you, it doesn't align with your values. I mean, it feels great for a moment, but you don't really feel like you're doing something that's really connecting.
The person who introduced us to you is Thomas Porton.
Yes.
Your teacher in high school.
Yes.
A few years ago.
A few short years ago.
He passed away recently. Tell me about his contributions, what you remember about him.
Oh my goodness. Tom Porton was an amazing soul. He really had a way of getting people together and pushing you beyond what you thought you could do. So, he would see what was inside of you before you even recognized it was there. And then he would push that, right? So he not only had us out volunteering in so many different causes, but he would make us have different leadership roles. And he'd say, you can do this. You're going to be great. And we would all just look like, what? And then we would do it and it would be great,
Is there a moment in the years since a particularly memorable volunteer experience that you think back to that you had that same feeling of thinking, oh, I did something good here and I feel great for doing it?
So I actually was a part of a group with him. It was a few of us, I think about 8 to 10 of us that were HIV/AIDS peer educators in high school. And we would, go around to different schools and organizations talking about HIV and AIDS. And the reason why that stands out to me is because when he first said it, I go, do you think people are going to want to hear about that? And he started making us have different assignments, different leadership roles. And it was wonderful. And then it became like, a field trip, like, oh, we're going out today in the van, So it was really great.
Great to have some of your insights today. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Our New Yorkers of the Week found inspiration to give back in all sorts of places. Historic carpentry, children's toys, giving back in their neighborhood. Sometimes there was something more profound, a loved one who is no longer with them. These are some of the people who inspired our New Yorkers.
My mom was an amazing mother and an amazing artist. And she also taught art in the inner city public schools. Earlier this year, I noticed that there were children in the subway and on the streets. and they had nothing to do. They were staying with their parents who were collecting money, selling candy and fruit, and it was heartbreaking. I thought she would give children in the subway that are spending their days here, she would give them art supplies because she knew that that is healing and stimulating. Bueno, bueno. And what a way to remember her and honor her legacy, to create something like that. So I've called it Leslie's Love. My mom would love this, and so I'm channeling her love and her love for art and her love for children.
This was my son Dominic, and he was 17 years old when he had his sudden cardiac arrest. He was in the middle of a basketball game, and during a routine layup, his heart stopped. No one started CPR right away. They ran right past the AED that was outside of the gym, and on that day I lost my only child to sudden cardiac arrest. Had someone on that court known what to do, I believe that Dominic would still be here today. It was important for me to become an instructor, an American Heart Association CPR AD instructor, because I just didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to be engaged and involved. And what we know is that 4 lives have been saved by people who took our training. Come on, you're not tired, you're young. Dominic's Law was enacted in 2021. So what it involves is information being provided to students, parents, teaching and athletic staff on sudden cardiac arrest. I'm just a mom, just speaking up for my son and giving him a voice. And I know that what he would want is to help others.
My father, both of them loved coming to the center here. So when I would come to the center, I could see that things were going on, because they did have, a craft class. And then as time went on, people that were doing it were no longer able to do it. So then I said, I could do that.
A safety pin and masking tape. I saw with enthusiasm how well she was doing with the class, so I said, okay, as soon as I retire, which was 7 years ago, I'm joining in.
My father always said, be a help to people, and this is a way to be a help.
To give the seniors something to do, to give them something to take pride in, they'd be delighted.
They would be very proud. When I walk in the center, I can feel my mother and my father here.
It is easy to see what motivated these New Yorkers. After this break, we'll catch up with some more of them who made an impact in their communities. We'll be right back.
I'm meteorologist Guy Brown, and our city is so awesome because of New Yorkers like you. So thank you so much for giving back.
Hey everyone, it's Roger Clark here, and I just want to say thank you to all the New Yorkers of the week for everything you do. You know, growing up here in town and then working in New York One, every time I see a New Yorker of the week, I'm grateful for everything they do. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and happy holidays.
Welcome back to our New Yorker of the Week End of the Year special. We're in Williamsburg at Terraza North 9th, getting together for some conversation with some of the people we've highlighted this year. Ayman Youssef is the half-table man, swooping into disaster-stricken communities across the country with supplies and compassion. Adam Abba is the founder of Africana, a nonprofit organization helping immigrants in the city. And Miles Kirsch is with us, bringing a warm cup of tea and community to the neighborhoods of Brooklyn. He is the founder of the Tea Stand. Is that tea that you have, Miles?
Got some blueberry hibiscus tea.
Good to have you all with us, and thank you for all the work you've done. Ayman, I want to start with you. This work that you started began out of necessity during Hurricane Sandy. Take me back to that time and what got you involved.
Well, Hurricane Sandy was really brutal to our area. And when it happened, I lost everything due to that hurricane. And the first thing is I had to jump in to help my community. And that's how the whole thing started with Half Table Man. And it was a little supply that came to me. And after a few hours, I woke up and I said, you know what? I have to give it away to the people because I personally don't need that much. And that's how we started. And I was thinking it will be for a day or two, a week or two, and 12 years later, we're still doing it.
And there's still a need, and there's still a drive. Adam, I see you nodding there. Your situation is is very different, but similarly, there was a personal connection that you felt that you could do something about.
Yes, definitely. I came to the United States at the age of 2, and I found that I was undocumented at 16. But, having to navigate the entire immigration system made me realize others need help. You just jump into action and you figure out how to support others in this.
Miles, your story is a different one. You had this idea that a hot cup of tea is a good thing on a cold day, and a cup of tea also brings people together.
Yeah, I think the origin really started when I was traveling around the Swana region, visiting countries like Egypt and Lebanon and Tunisia, and I saw how tea brought people together, how ubiquitous tea houses were. I loved the energy, and I think in the United States, we're lacking third spaces, we're lacking a lot of social infrastructure. It's resulting in a loneliness epidemic, and so I wanted to create an accessible space for stillness, conversation, warmth in the cold, and tea facilitates all of those things really nicely.
Eamon, the need is always going to be bigger than what one organization can provide. Is there a process of deciding what you do? Do you try to do it all?
We still continue doing it on every day, 7 days a week. And we run a food pantry 6 times a week in Staten Island. So we basically, I don't think we're going to stop because we see the need. The need is keep increasing day after day. And we see many people on our food pantry lines.
Yeah.
And then that's the thing what keep us. We see the need.
Adam, do you ever feel like you're getting ahead of the need?
Sometimes.
Right, but it can be hard. Immigration is so much in the spotlight right now.
Immigration is always in the spotlight, and one of the things that I tell my team and people that I work with, immigration has always been an issue. It's going to be a constant conversation. It's how do you push forward and support community. So for me, it doesn't matter what administration is, Republican, Democrat, we still have to support the incoming or the ones that are already here.
I gave everybody a hint I was going to ask this question, but I'm curious, is there something that you've learned along the way that you wish you'd known at the beginning? Is this set up the way that you would have set it up with that prior knowledge? And
It's funny.
Have you thought about that?
Yeah, so many times, I want to stop, because it's a lot of work. It's really a lot of work, a lot of... we have to, every day to wake up 6 o'clock in the morning and run to the market and start collecting. So many times I'm like, I want to stop it.
But if it's in your DNA, wouldn't you just find something else to do instead?
We said the same thing.
I might continue, for a long, long time. And it becomes me personally.
Miles, is there a lesson that you've learned along the way?
I feel like I'm still learning lessons every day, but I'm really trying to do everything from a place of love instead of from a place of stress or fear. So starting from a place of balance and only adding when it's something that you can take on.
Yeah.
And then of course getting other people involved as you need. Don't be shy to ask for help.
Well, and I think that's where I want to finish. And Adam, I'll go to you first on this. For somebody who has an idea, has time on their hands, has a sense of wanting to give back to the community, how do you know what the right thing is to pursue?
That's what community is about. I just made a connection today. I'm going to be asking him to serve tea to my community so I don't have to serve him tea. I'm going to ask him to help the residents who have a flood. So it's not just me alone doing it. It's based on the communities that we create.
Eamon, does an opportunity find you, or do you find an opportunity?
Well, I think I chase after it. That's, to help the people, that's all. It's been really tough, but when we see the need that met to certain families, that's, our heart is full.
Yeah. Miles, is it as simple sometimes as just seeing something and jumping in after it?
Yeah, I think I would just say find your local mutual aid group, get involved, see what your community needs, learn from the people around you, and follow your passion in a way that makes the world a better place at the same time.
I'm glad we could all make some connections here today. Enjoy your tea and and coffee, and thanks for everything you do. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for the work that you've done over the years. We also want to say thank you to the people here at Terrassa North 9th and Williamsburg for hosting us for our conversation today. Thank you at home for joining us for our special today. If you saw someone here who sounds like someone you know who is a perpetual volunteer, maybe somebody that we should focus on in our reporting next year, let us know. Send us an email, nyer@charter.com. Maybe they will be our next New Yorker of the Week. And whether you're a New Yorker of the Week or not, there's always an opportunity in the community to give back. So as we say goodbye, we celebrate the people who have made time for others just because they could.
I'm glad that the people in this community are moving forward to try and help the people in their neighborhood.
It's good, it's good, it's good.
Times like these, it's our job to help our brother, our sisters.
It warms my heart to know that I can help somebody that can't help themselves. It's just important to my life.
Even if you're not having the best day, it could help another person, which you never know could happen back to you.
It really shows empathy, it shows compassion for humanity, and I think it's amazing.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest news and weather updates every 10 minutes and more. We'll see you then.